Yeah, I raced in Dubai and probably a month ago now. The invite came in quite late, so it was just after Christmas kind of when I was told that I was on the starting list. Kind of reluctant to go in some ways, but it's not a good time, kind of heavy winter's block kind of training, but so I'll just use it kind of to, um, it's a good test kind of, and the weather will be, the weather was quite hot and humid even though it's their winter, just to see where I'm at kind of compared to the other guys, but I would have been expecting a really fast time, so it's nice to get away with the weather's been so bad here for a few days and soak up the heat, yeah.
It was a bit of relief getting into the heat and maybe a little bit of practice for something big coming up later on this year in Tokyo.
Yeah, it's obviously not the same. It's in Dubai at the moment. It's their winter, so and the race started at 6 in the morning, which I think is actually when the race in Tokyo is going to start, which will be good for me. Yeah, so it's dark for the first 15 kilometers, but it got pretty warm in the second half of the race, probably mid 20s. But I dealt with that pretty well. Yeah, and a solid performance. So a good way to start the year.
Now, you've already had an impressive performance in your Tokyo 2020 qualifying in Duluth. Can you just tell us a little bit more about that race?
Yeah, it's one I targeted last year. Um, I've had some good performances in the last couple of years, placement wise, but like mainly in races where the weather has been, in one or two of them, horrendous. Like in Boston 2 years ago, I came fifth. I remember going over to Duluth and the weather actually looked like it was going to be bad. Like, and it's just like it's my luck again. Like it's like I don't want to place here. I want a time. Like so, even if I come last, but I do like my PB had been 129 for a couple of years, and I was just trying to get it down. So if I had got a 128, even I would have been really happy. Yeah, but luckily the weather over there, it's on a big Lake Constance, I think, or something it's called. The weather can change quite quick, and luckily it changed in our favour. Yeah, and really good conditions, which is what you need for going fast, and managed to get second place in 1:22:33. So was that like a 6.5 minute PB for me? So it'll be hard to beat that, but it's an ideal time to do it in the qualifying window. So as I said, you need conditions. So um, I'm lucky that I got that on today.
What's that like when you cross the line and you see the time and you realise that you've set a 6.5 second PB, and it must have been in your head when you saw that time to go, like, that's right around where I need to for Tokyo.
Yeah, well, like I was looking at my Garmin, like my so me and one of the American guys got away like straight from the start, like and worked together. And I remember going through like 10k, and I looked down at my like split, and it was like 17 minutes something. I was like, what's going on here? Like, and then like the half we went through like in under 40 minutes, like which is world record kind of pace, like, and I still felt pretty good. And I was like, like is my Garmin wrong or something here? Like, but I knew we were going quick. Second half was a little tougher, but I remember that around mile 20, he got away from me on a hill, and in the last few k, you come in on the 10k runners, so they're actually kind of they could get in your way. So I knew I was on for like a massive PB, so I pulled it back a little bit. I probably could have got under 122 if I really had pushed it, but I didn't want to risk crashing. So I was happy to take that time. Yeah, it was yeah, it was, I suppose, all the work paying off. Kind of, yeah, some frustrating times in the past couple of years. So delighted to get over the line in that time.
That's brilliant, and
Yeah.
I suppose that Duluth Marathon sets you up for hopefully a very interesting year. But there's a couple of more races on the horizon for you, three particularly important ones.
Yeah, it's a long way from Dubai to April to race, but I I'm going to do Manchester Marathon in the first week of April. It's just low. It's a low key one. Well, there will be a couple of decent guys there, but it's just to test myself and see where I'm at before the majors, and then back to back I have Boston and London. Um, London's not particularly quick, but it's like the best of the best is there. So um, I want to see how high up the field I can get there. So it'll be more getting the place there than time, I think, kind of, but which is just as important to test yourself against the best. So
Is that maybe a psychological thing as well as putting down a marker against some of those bigger names that you compete against and that maybe would have earmarked medals for themselves in Tokyo?
yeah, it's going to be really tough. Like the standard has just gone through the roof. Like last year, towards the end of the year in the majors, in New York I finished 8th, but I was like 5 seconds off finishing third. Like, and in Chicago I was like 13th, but I was again a few seconds off finishing third. Like, it's just there's so many good guys now. Um, there's one or two dominant guys I'd say that are kind of earmarked for medals, but other than that, like, there's so many good guys now. On any given day, them positions could change up, and there's other guys that can jump in there as well. So the medals are definitely not a given for anyone at this stage. But yeah, it'll be tough. It's a mixed class, and that's probably where I do struggle, is at the end, because I'm probably at the lower end of the kind of function. So when it comes to like the kicks and that's where the guys in my class will struggle. But if I can put myself in that position, then I suppose that's all I can do anyway. So give it my best go, yeah.
And then, Tokyo is very much on the horizon. We're 6 months to go today. What would it mean to you to get on the plane to Tokyo?
I mean, everything. That's what the last 4 years has been about again. So yeah, obviously for me, Rio happened kind of. It was, I wouldn't say a surprise, but I'd only been competing 3 years, kind of, so it was just kind of the experience in that. But obviously this time you want to perform, kind of, not that I didn't want to perform then, but like, you'd put more pressure on yourself this time to kind of perform to your potential. And there's a lot of variables that can affect that. Kind of, the heat will be a challenge, and obviously travel over and things like that as well. But yeah, looking forward to it, and hopefully I can get myself on the plane. Yeah, but it'll be tight for spots.